Okay, good morning and welcome to Slow Flow. For this class, I'm going to ask you to get some props. If you have blocks, 2 blocks like this, otherwise a chair will work fine. So a chair with height, knee height or around that will be good. But you don't need it for the minute, so you can just put your props to the side. And we'll start sitting up nice and tall. I like to use a block underneath my hips so I can get a little bit of height, but if you have a pillow or a bolster or something just to elevate the hips slightly. And we'll start with the hands face down on the knees. Nice long spine, almost like the crown of the head is drawing up towards the ceiling. Tuck the chin. And together, let's take 3 cleansing breaths. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. One more deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, let it go through the mouth. And now you can just turn to your nostril breathing. So breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Keep your eyes closed and just take a moment to arrive on your mat. And in order to do this, I'm just going to get you to trace your breath as it naturally flows in through the nose. Now just watch the breath. Don't try and deepen or lengthen the breath. Just observe. Follow the breath as it travels through the nose and down through the body. And then watch the breath as it comes up and out through the nose. Apana asana, it's the gentle observation of the breath. Without trying to change the breath, just observe the breath. So you can start to notice the natural length of the breath today. Whether your breath feels short or whether it feels long. Notice the pace of your breath. Notice where your breath lands in your body. Maybe it's up in your chest, in the ribs, or down in the abdomen. Zero judgment, just observation. What is your breath doing in your body right now? And we'll just be here for a few more moments. And for these last few moments of sitting, I want you to start to draw your breath. So almost like you're using a pen or a paintbrush. Start to trace your breath as it flows in through your body. Trace it all the way around. What are you using to draw your breath? What is the color of your breath? And how bright or deep is that color? Does the color change as you progress through your breathing cycle? Together, let's take a deep breath in through the nose. You can exhale, spread that breath all through the body. And then keeping your eyes closed, on the next inhale, you can lengthen through the spine. And on the exhale, draw your right ear to the right shoulder. Inhale, head through center. Exhale to the other side. Okay, so we're just going to start to flow with the breath. Inhale, take the head through the center of the body, and then exhale, ear to shoulder. And continue to flow like that. Inhale through center. Exhale to the other side. Start to find the natural flow of your breath as you inhale and exhale. Beautiful. The next time you draw your head through center, inhale, and the exhale takes your chin down to the chest. Inhale through center. Exhale, chin up and back. In through center. Exhale, down. In through center. Exhale, up and back. Again, start to flow with your breath. In and down. In and back. 2 more, finding the cycle of your breath. Beautiful. And then the next time you draw your chin down, we're going to start to make circles with the neck, up, back, and around, all the way. Okay, start to connect your breath with the circle. So you inhale as you take the chin from the down, up one side of the circle. And let the exhale take your chin down and around. So it's like you're connecting a smooth circle with your neck with a smooth circle of your breath. No pauses, continuous and smooth. Take one more circle in this direction. And then you can take your circle in the other direction. Keep that flow with the breath. So it's almost like there is no pause between the start and the end of the inhale and the exhale. One more full circle in this direction. And then drawing your head up through center. Gently blink the eyes open. Reach your arms out nice in front and start to circle through the wrists. Yeah, get any of those cracks out. And then circle the other way. Beautiful. And from here, if you're sitting on a prop, you can gently come off your prop and move it to the side. Make your way into your table pose, onto your hands and knees. Okay. So in your table pose, I just want you to pick up your hands a couple of times and gently place them down onto the mat. And just notice how your hands naturally fall. When you feel comfortable with your hands and they feel like they're quite sturdy, equal weight between both hands and both knees, we'll start to flow through the cat-cow. So as you inhale, you lower the belly, reach the chest forward, head up. As you exhale, you curl the tailbone down, press into the hands, press into the space between the spine, the shoulder blades. And continue to move through your cat-cow. So the inhale, lower the belly, expand the chest, lengthen the neck. Exhale, curl the tailbone, press into the hands, press between the shoulder blades. Okay, and again, continue to flow with your breath here. Close down your eyes if that feels good and start to genuinely feel the connection between your body and your breath. No pauses in between the movement, just continual flow. And it's in these relatively simple sequences, like a cat-cow, that you can really try and start to find that connection between the breath and the body. The movement is simple, but finding that seamless joining, that yoking with the body, is actually kind of hard if you really focus on it. So taking a few more rounds in your cat-cow and starting to circulate or elongate if that feels good. You can send your hips to one side, tilting the head. But this is your practice, so wherever you are right now, listening into your body and doing what feels good for you at this moment in time. Beautiful, yogis. Coming back to a neutral spine. And then sinking the hips back towards the heels. Find your child's pose, crown of the head towards the mat, reach the fingertips out in front. Okay, so now instead of being really flat in the hands, I want you to activate, so start to walk your hands forward. You can come up onto the tips of the fingers if that feels good, or keep the palms pressed and grounded into the mat, but reach the fingertips as far forward as you can. Staying here for 3 really grounded breaths. So if you feel the connection of your hand onto the mat, if you feel the connection of your forehead, maybe not, but if you do, press that into the mat quite deeply. For 2 more breaths. And for 1, let's get into the next flow. On your next inhale, I want you to lift up onto your knees and lift your arms up above the head. You can gaze up towards your palms, and if it feels okay, connect your palms to your palms. As you exhale, slowly float the hands down, find your table pose. On your inhale, reach the chest forward, tilt the tailbone up, find your cow. On the exhale, you curl the toes, send the hips up and back to downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward to your high plank. Exhale, hips up and back, downward dog. Inhale, lower down onto your knees, table pose. And then exhale, sink the hips back, child's pose. This is 1 round of the sequence. We'll do this again. Inhale, lift up onto the knees. Slowly reach the arms up above the head. Gaze up, palms pressed together. As you exhale, you slowly float the hands down. Find your table pose. Inhale, lower the belly towards the mat. Reach your chest forward and gaze up, neck long, cow. Exhale as you curl the toes. Send the hips back all the way to your downward dog. Inhale, roll forward, body strong, shoulders come in front of the wrist, your body makes a plank. On your exhale, your hips go back, downward dog. Inhale, you lower the knees. And exhale, sink back, child's pose. 2 more rounds. Start to flow with your breath. So just flow through this sequence. Inhaling, lift the arms up above the head. Palms pressed, maybe a little back bend. Exhale, float to your table. Inhale, expand the chest, tailbone up, cow. Exhale, press back, downward dog. Inhale, high plank. Roll the body forward. Exhale, hips high, downward dog. Inhale to lower the knees. And exhale, child's pose. One more time on your own. Start to flow with your breath. So you can move at your pace. And I want you to start to feel how every time you exhale, your body is contracting or folding. And on the inhale, your body is expanding or opening. If you mess up the sequence, if you do something different, that's absolutely okay. This is more an exercise of moving with the breath than perfecting a sequence of asana. When you find yourself back in your child's pose, take 3 grounding breaths here. Again, active through the pose, so walk your fingers forward, resting the crown of the head onto the mat if that feels okay. 2 more breaths. Feel the breath fill up through the ribs, through the back of the body. And then on your next inhale, come with me as you inhale, reach up onto the knees, arms come above the head, press the palms together. Exhale as you float the hands down to your table. Inhale, tilt the tailbone up, cow pose. Exhale to your downward dog. This time you're going to hold it here, okay? So it's the first downward dog to hold for the day. You can walk your doggy out. You can bend one knee and straighten the other. And then bend the other knee and straighten the other leg. Take a few more moments to feel comfortable pressing out through the heels, lengthen through the back of the legs. And then bring your legs to a symmetrical point that they don't need to be straight. Actually, I like to have a little bend in my knees so I can tilt the hips towards the ceiling. And then before we move on, just take a look forward at your hands and notice how your hands are placed on the mat. There isn't necessarily the right way to have your hands in downward dog. That can vary depending on how your shoulders are. But I like to have my middle finger pointing straight ahead, all 5 fingers spread really wide, and I slightly rotate the weight into my thumb and my forefinger, and I feel that gives really good traction and grounding, because what I want is equal weight between my 2 hands and my 2 feet. Okay, so with the hips nice and high, stay for 1 more breath. Exhale, let it go. And then keeping the hips high, I want you to start to make your way to the top of the mat. You can tiptoe your feet all the way towards the hands. When you need to bend the knees, bend the knees. And when you reach the top of the mat, bring a really generous bend into the knees. Take opposite elbows and have a long neck. Here, my ribs are connected to my thighs, so my knees are bent that much that I can happily rest. It's almost like I can bounce the top part of my body. So bend your knees so deeply that you can rest your thighs, your ribs on your thighs. Neck is long. Stay for a breath. Okay, and then you can release your hands, and if it feels okay for your lower back, rolling up 1 vertebrae at a time. Leaving the head until last and bringing a nice big roll into the shoulders. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, connect your palms to your palms. Draw the palms down in front of the heart space and tuck the chin and close your eyes. If you have an intention for the rest of your practice or for the day ahead, please bring that intention into your heart now. Now in this flow this morning, there is no move that is super challenging or that you might need to struggle to achieve. But what I do want you to do is focus really a lot on connecting through the breath, connecting the moves, and transitioning. So finding that flow. When you're ready, you can gently open the eyes. Bring the hands beside each other and come to stand at the top of the mat. A slightly different namaskar today. So we'll start with the right foot forward and step the left foot back about 1 meter. Turn the left big toes to point the top left corner of the mat and actively square your hips and your shoulders to the front of the mat. So separate the heels slightly. So you're going to train track the feet so that they're at least hip distance apart. And then the left toes point towards the top left corner of the mat. Beautiful. Yeah. Start with the hands pressed out in front and palms together. As you inhale, you bend through the right knee, open the arms and open the chest. It's like you're squeezing your shoulder blades together. You can gaze up. As you exhale, you straighten through the front leg, press the palms together, press the space between the shoulder blades, tuck the chin. On your next inhale, your left hand lifts, your right hand lowers, and you bend the knee, gaze up. Pause with the breath, straighten through the front leg, reach both arms up, and on the exhale, you reach forward and fold all the way down. On the inhale, you lift the body, come up halfway with a flat back, and as you exhale, you fold. Inhale, reach the arms forward and up, come all the way up to standing. And exhale, release the hands beside you. Desikacha Namaskar. We'll do this again. Reach the palms out in front, straighten through the front leg, and on the inhale, you open, bend the knee, open the chest, gaze up. Exhale, straighten through the front leg, press the palms together, press the space between the shoulder blades. Inhale, left arm up, right arm down, bend through the knee, gaze up. Pause the breath as you straighten through the front leg, reach both arms up, and let the exhale fold forward. On the inhale, you come up strong through the core, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up overhead. And exhale to release. One more time on this side. Reach the palms out, press the palms together. Start to flow with the breath. Inhale, bend through the knee, open the chest. Exhale, straighten the leg, press the palms together, round through the back. Inhale, left arm up, right arm down. And then pause the breath, straighten through the front leg. As you exhale now, you reach forward, fold down. Inhale, come up with a strong core, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up overhead. And exhale, release. Okay, seamless transition to the other side. Gently step the left foot forward. Step the right foot back. We're going back about 1 meter. Remember, 45-degree angle of the back foot. Actively square the hips and the shoulders towards the front of the mat. And then reach both arms out in front. Press the palms together. As you're ready, inhale, bend through the left knee. Separate the arms, open the chest. Exhale, press the palms together, straighten through the front leg. Inhale, this time the right arm up, left arm down, bend the knee. Pause the breath, straighten the leg, reach both arms up, and exhale, fold, 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 reach down. Inhale as you extend up, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up overhead. And exhale, release. 2 more times on this side. Bring the palms out in front, straighten through the front leg, and then inhale, bend the knee, open through the chest. Exhale, press the palms together. Inhale, open the right arm up, left arm down, bend the leg. Pause the breath as you straighten, reach both arms up. And then exhale, reach forward, almost like you're trying to reach out in front of your mat. Fold down. Inhale, strong core up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. And exhale to release. One more time like this, with the breath. Inhale, bend and open. Exhale, press and fold. Inhale, right arm up, bend through the knee. Pause the breath as you reach the arms up, straighten through the front leg, and exhale as you fold forward, reaching down. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up to standing. And exhale to release. Again, gently bend through the left knee and step the right foot forward. Okay, so with these simple movements, there are two ways you can do this, right? There's a really fluid way where you can kind of like flow through the air. There's no resistance. Or you can make it very strong. It's almost like you're trying to move your body through a substance, and it becomes a really strong exercise of resistance without actually putting any pressure on your joints or your bones. So I want you to choose the level of resistance that you apply. Now we're going to do 2 more times on each side. And if you want this to be a stronger practice, feel like you're moving through almost like a quicksand or a mud. If you want to do more of a flow practice, move through air and flow freely. Okay, so again, setting up the feet, we'll start with the right foot forward and the left foot back. The left toes 45 degrees, point towards the left corner of the mat, and you square the hips. Reach the arms out in front and choose the substance that you flow with. As you inhale, you open and expand. Starting to rely less on my cues and flowing through the sequence with your breath. Trust that your body knows how to take you. Left arm up, right arm down. And you decide how strong you want this practice to be today. Beautiful, moving freely through one more sequence on this side. Whether you're moving through water or mud or peanut butter or chocolate mousse, whatever you want. Okay, so finishing off this round that you're on, when you come all the way up to standing, I want you to pause up there with your arms up and bend into the front knee. You can lengthen the space between the front foot and the back foot. We're going to come into a warrior one. So reaching the arms up above the head. The front knee is bent. And I want you to press into the outer edge corner of the back foot to try and rotate your hips square. Okay? So press into the pinky edge side of that back foot. Bend through the front knee, shoulders down away from the ears, palms face each other, but the fingertips will reach towards the ceiling. And we're going to stay here actually for 8 breaths, okay? So focus on your ujjayi, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Keep that bend through the front knee and actively press through the pinky edge of the back foot to rotate the hips forward. 5 more breaths. For these last 5 breaths, I want you also to focus on tucking the tailbone down towards the mat. Suck the core in, navel towards the spine. Stay for 4. For 3. Can you sink a little deeper into that front knee for the last 2? And for 1, beautiful. Release the hands and gently step the back foot forward. All right, squaring the hips, feet hip distance apart. Almost like you're a puppeteer. This time I want you to step your right foot back about 1 meter. Square the hips, point the back toes towards the top right corner of the mat. And again, 2 more flows through our Desikachar Namaskar, choosing the resistance that you apply. So as you inhale, you bend the knee, open the chest, reach the heart open. Exhale, nice and strong or flowy, you choose. Press the palms together, space between the shoulder blades. Inhale, right arm up, left arm goes down. Pause the breath as you reach both arms up overhead. And exhale, reach, reach, reach forward and fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen, long spine. Exhale to fold. Inhale, arms all the way up overhead. And exhale to release. Okay, one more time to your own breath, remembering to choose the level of resistance that you want to play in today. Beautiful, and keeping the hands up nice and high when you make it all the way through that second sequence. And then create a little bit length between the front foot and the back foot to find your warrior one. 8 breaths here, you bend into that front knee, so the front knee is almost above the ankle, not further in front, just above. You press into the outer edge of the back foot to try and rotate the hips forward. And you tuck the tailbone down towards the mat. Shoulders down away from the ears, palms face each other. We're staying for 5 more breaths. If it feels okay for your neck, you can gently gaze up towards the ceiling. Stay for 3. Sink a little deeper into that front knee. For 2. And for 1, you can straighten through the front leg, release the hands, and then step that back foot forward. Okay. Yeah, a little bit of a slow burn, hey? So now we're going to get our props. Jace, I'll get you to get 2 blocks, and I'm going to use the chair. So the chair's a good option if you don't have blocks at home. And if you don't have any props, actually it's okay, you can go without. This is just going to help us reach into our Ardha Chandrasana. All right, so if you're using blocks, I'm going to get you to take the blocks about hip distance apart in front of the right foot, and the chair can just be placed in front of the mat. We're going to start with the right foot forward, bend through the left knee, and then lightly step the left foot about 1 meter back. We're coming back into that almost warrior one stance. Okay, so from here you can reach the arms up, and as you exhale, fold forward and find either your blocks or your chair. If you have neither of these, just bring your hands to your shin. What I'm doing is using the props to give myself a little bit of height so I'm not rounding into the lower back. So Jace, come up onto your fingertips even. Yeah, and see how nice and long his back is. And then from here, I'm going to inhale and bend through the front knee. And then exhale, start to straighten the front knee. So inhale, I bend. And exhale, I straighten. 3 more times like this. You inhale and bend. Exhale and straighten. And each time you do this, it's like you're letting your front leg know that you're about to approach a stretch. And by gently moving in and out of this stretch, it's almost like you're letting your nervous system know that it's going to be okay. All you need to do to come out of it is just bend. But the next time that you straighten your front leg, I want you to hold it straight and come up onto the very tips of your fingertips. And can you feel that through your front leg? Okay. We're going to stay here for about 1 minute, and there's a few things that we can work on to try and activate this lengthening through the front leg. Firstly, bring the weight of your body into the ball of the right big toe. So it's like you're actively pressing the ball of the right big toe down. If you were squeezing over an ant, press, 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 so there's no space between the mat and the toe. It's all pressing down into the ball of the right big toe. Okay, from here, you can then start to press your right hip back towards the back of the mat, and so that it becomes in line with the left hip. There's a natural tendency for the right hip here to move forward, but by actively pressing it back, you're going to feel like a really, really strong rotation from the right hip to the right big toe. And then if you want to go even deeper, you can start to tilt your tailbone up towards the ceiling, and this should have the front leg on fire. Yeah? Okay, we're going to stay for about 5 more breaths. Keep focusing on bringing the weight into the ball of the right big toe, sending the right hip back, and then tilt the tailbone up towards the ceiling. Stay for 2. And for 1. Okay, gently, just really little bend into the right knee. We're now going to come into Ardha Chandrasana, the half moon. So if you've got a block, I want you to pick up the block with your right hand and take it 30 centimeters in front of your right big toe. I've got the chair, so I just inch the chair out and I bring my hand flat onto the chair. I start to become light in the left leg, and then I open my hip, stacking my left hip on top of my right, straightening through the right arm. And I can stay here, or to go further, I can lift my left arm up nice and long. And you don't need a prop, but by using a prop, it gives you a chance to really lean back into this. It's almost like if you were against a wall, your whole back would be pressed against the wall. Stay here for 2. And for 1, as you exhale, you can square your hips, rest both hands onto the chair, or just lightly step the left foot down. And then coming all the way up to standing. Okay, before we go to the next side, just stand at the top of your mat. Don't touch your clothes. Don't try and adjust for anything. Just close your eyes. And notice what you feel in your body now. We haven't done anything too crazy or too fast, but there's heat. Maybe you feel like one leg is more on fire than the other. But it's lucky we have 2 legs. We get to go to the other side. Okay, so bringing the feet hip distance apart. Bringing the blocks as well back to their original position, so just in front of the feet. The chair can come just in front of the mat. This time the left foot is going to be forward, so you step the right foot back just about 1 meter. Again, you can separate the heels, widen the train tracks, and square the hips off towards the front of the mat. Inhale, reach the arms up all the way overhead. And then exhale, reach forward, lengthen through the spine until you find either your chair, your blocks. You can draw your blocks in a little bit closer towards your feet, Jace, yeah. Or if you don't have any of these props, just bringing your hands down to your thighs or below the knees. And again, letting the front leg know what's coming. As you inhale, you bend through that left knee. And as you exhale, you start to straighten the front knee. So just taking 3 or 4 more rounds like this. PNF stretching, letting the nervous system prepare for what's about to come for the left leg. Letting the nervous system know that any time it wants to come out of this stretch, all you need to do is bend your left knee. It's that easy. Beautiful. Taking 1 more time to flow with the breath. And this time, as you straighten through the front leg, the left leg, you'll stay here. I am going to come up onto the tips of my fingers, so I get up really nice and high, and this lets me have a nice long spine, so I'm not rounding through the back. And again, I bring the weight into the ball of my left big toe, so I really press that ball down, pressing all the weight there, and at the same time, I send my left hip back, sending it back towards the back of the mat, and then almost like it's in line with the right hip. It's not creeping forward. So all of the weight is in the ball of the left big toe. My left hip is sending back, and then if I want to go even deeper into this stretch, I tilt my tailbone up, like I'm coming into my cow tilt when I'm in my cat-cows. That's it. Yeah, and it should really fire up through the front leg, actually. It's really, really strong. It's almost like the maximum rotation that you can have without folding forward, and there's no pressure on the lower spine. So we'll stay here for at least 5 more breaths. Keep pressing into the ball of the left big toe. Keep sending the left hip back. Actively send it back. And then to go even deeper, tilt the tailbone. We're going to stay for 3. Stay with me. Stay for 2. And for 1 more breath. Beautiful. Gently bend through the left knee, release. And now send your left block in your left hand about 30 centimeters in front of the left pinky toe, or the chair, you can just push it out in front of the mat. My left hand now is going to press into the chair or the block, and I become light in my right leg. Start with my right hand on my right hip and actively open up through the chest and stack the hip. And if I want to go even further, I can reach my right arm up. But again, using the prop to help support you to open up through your Ardha Chandrasana. Stay for 3. Lift up through the right leg nice and high. For 2. And for 1, exhale, square the hips, release the hand down onto the chair, and then release the right foot down. And then again, bend through the knees, come up to standing. No adjustments to your hair or your clothes, just stand in your body and feel the heat that you're creating. Notice what feels really alive in your body now. And then you can bring your palms to your palms in front of the heart space. Come back to your intention for your practice. And then you can release your hands. Gently open your eyes and then really smoothly step your right foot all the way back and come into parallel your feet. You can actually turn your toes out 45 degrees or just turn your toes out away from the hips if that feels okay. Again, something a little bit different. I'm going to get you to make a ball with your hands in front of your root chakra. Yeah. So you can close down your eyes and feel the ball between your hands, and you can gently sort of move your hands around to try and really understand the shape and the size of your ball. Work with me, Jace. Maybe your ball is really small today, so if you bring your hands a little bit closer together, you can feel a magnetic pull between your hands, maybe. So just experiment. Bring your hands closer together and just feel if you can feel anything between your hands. Maybe not. On your next inhale, I want you to practice like you're drawing your ball up in between the center of your body. You can watch me, Jace. Inhale up. And then as you exhale, you send your left arm out nice and long and take your right hand and just wash it over the top of the left arm. On the inhale, you take the right arm underneath the left and draw it back through the heart space. To the other side, extend the right arm long, take the left hand and wash it over the top. And then inhale up and under. This time we go down to the legs. So you exhale, you take your both hands to the outside of the left leg all the way down towards the front of the foot, and then inhale, draw it up, the inside seam of the leg. This time as you exhale, you go down through the inside seam of the other leg, the right leg. Wash it around, and inhale all the way back up. Now you bring your hands up through the center and around the head as you exhale. Beautiful. So that's one round. We're going to go do this 2 more times. So stay for the in-breath. And then as you exhale, you extend your left arm and take the right hand over the palm. Inhale up and around. Smooth with the exhale. This time you extend your right arm and take your left hand over. Inhale underneath towards the heart. Take both hands now as you exhale, wash down the outside of the left leg. Inhale up through center, inside seam of the left leg. This time you exhale down the inside seam of the right leg and come up. Let an inhale draw up through the center of the body and exhale as you wash over your head. One more time on your own. Start to use your breath. So the exhale takes your hand away, you wash down. And the inhale, you draw it back towards the center of the body. You go to the other arm. When you're ready, you take both hands down towards the leg. The other leg. And then bring hands up through the center. And exhale, let it wash over your head. Beautiful. From here, you can step your back foot in towards the front of the mat. And you're going to make your way down onto your back. So you can bring your feet hip distance apart, bend through the knees, bend the hips down towards the mat, and then just sit down. That's it. And then plant your feet so that your feet are close to your heels. Reach your arms out in front of the mat and use your core, suck through the navel as you roll down one vertebrae at a time. Beautiful, nice and slow. Preparing for an alternate flow bridge. So it's going to be a little bit different to the bridge that you're used to, but it's, again, an exercise of connecting the breath with the movement. So as you inhale, you press into your heels and lift your hips up high. At the same time, you lift your right arm up and overhead. The top of the right hand is going to go all the way back and touch the mat behind you. And as you exhale, you lower the hips down, lower the right hand back down towards the mat next to your hip. And then you go to the left side. So the inhale takes the hips nice and high. You reach the left arm up and back. The top of the left hand touches the mat behind you. And as you exhale, left arm comes up and lowers down, hips lower towards the mat. Okay, so again, a simple sequence, but continue to flow with this and move to the right side. I want you to see if you can really time this movement with your breath now. So the very top of the inhale is the point where your hips are at their highest and the top of the hand touches the mat. And at the same time, you exhale smoothly, smoothly, smoothly. So at the bottom of the exhale, your hips reach the mat and your palm reaches the mat. And then you smoothly move to the other side. So again, the challenge is not in the complexity of the move, it's in the timing and the seamless union of the breath with the movement. And the trick is always going to be getting the hand down in time with the hips and the breath. 2 more on each side. If you find your mind starting to creep away from the mat, come back to this seamless timing of this breath and this movement. And it's actually, again, kind of challenging. Take 1 more on each side. And then the next time that your left hand reaches the mat, just check that your heels are still close to your hips. If you reach your fingertips out nice and long, you can just scrape the tops of the heels. We'll come into a static bridge hold. So as you inhale, press into the heels and lift the hips up nice and high. And then from here, you can shimmy the shoulders under the shoulder blades and clasp the hands together, press the hands into the mat. And we'll stay for 5. Every time I inhale, I think about pressing into my heels and lifting my hips up. And when I exhale, I draw my chest towards my chin. So I stay for 4 on the inhale, hips high. Exhale, chest to chin. For 3, I inhale, hips high. Exhale, chest to chin. For 2. And for 1. To come out, you can unclasp your hands and unshimmy your shoulders. Roll down 1 vertebrae at a time. And then take your feet out as wide as the mat and connect the knees together. You can cactus the arms as you windshield wiper your knees from right to left. So just beautiful. Yeah, that's it, Jace. The next time you take your knees over towards the right side of the body, you can pause there. And to go a little bit deeper, you can take your left knee and draw it up towards your chest. Extend your left arm out nice and long and come into a lay down supine twist. Beautiful. Releasing the hand on your next inhale, you can draw both knees through center. And exhale to the other side. Drawing both knees back through center and hug your knees in towards your chest. Squeeze your knees in nice and close. You can gently rock from side to side, massage through the lower spine. And if there's anything else your body needs now, Take this time to make any final movements you need before you come into your Shavasana. So if you want to take a happy baby, another twist, whatever you need. Just taking a few moments and then making your way towards your Shavasana. So in your Shavasana, you can turn your palms beside you, palms face up. Feet fall out to the side. Eyes closed, and just be really, really heavy on your mat. Completely surrender. Be heavy on your mats. Deeply relax. Again, if your mind starts to wander away for these last few moments, just gently draw your mind back into your body. And you can notice any sensation in your body that feels particularly alive, maybe different to how you felt at the beginning of practice. So you're welcome to stay in your Shavasana for as long as you like, as long as you can. Take this opportunity to rest, surrender, be completely present in your space. Thank you so much for joining us. Namaste.